Shalom, heroes and Hebrews. Welcome to the channel. This is OFD. Fixing to do our daily reading. Well, maybe our weekly reading. Anyway, it's supposed to be daily reading. I've neglected to make these videos. Several different reasons. Anyway, let's get back to it. Short intro here. If you like the content that you see in my videos, I have several in archive, probably close to 400. Feel free to go check them out. If you like it, subscribe to the channel. Click the little bell icon. You'll get notified when I do new videos. We're going to be continuing on in 1 Kings today. 1 Kings chapter 19. Elijah the prophet had just slayed the 400 prophets of Baal. The last time we read in chapter 18. We'll continue on with Elijah and Jezebel. You can kind of see them. The buffalo, you know, I like the buffalo. It's kind of cool. Don't get much out here in the old flats. Jackrabbits and pump jacks, about all we got. Mesquite bushes. All right. 1 Kings 19. And when Ahab reported to Jezebel, now Ahab is the king, Jezebel is his wife, but Jezebel pretty well runs the roost, runs the house, tells Ahab what to do, which is not according to God's, Yahweh's design. And when Ahab reported to Jezebel all that Eliyahu is Elijah, Eliyahu had done, also how he slew the prophets with the sword, Jezebel sent a messenger to Eliyahu, saying, so let the mighty ones do to me, and more also, if I do not make your life as the life of one of them, those speaking of those prophets, by tomorrow this time. All right. She's calling upon her gods to strike her dead if she doesn't find Jezebel or Elijah and have him slain just like the prophets that he slew the day before. Pretty bold statement. We see that again over in New Testament. I believe it's in Acts, where the Jews claim that they are fasting and will not eat until Paul is dead. And I guess, I don't know, I suppose they finally give in to that, because after months and months, Paul's still alive and we don't hear no more about them. So either they stood their ground and didn't eat and died, or they went, no, never mind, I'm gonna live. That's usually what we do when we follow a false idol. We'll stand with that fallacy until it begins to interfere with our actual life, and we love our life more than we love our idols, which is where we can get in the same trouble with Yahweh. We can love ourselves more than we love Yahweh, and that becomes a problem, because Yahweh is the living God. Verse 3. And Eliyahu feared and rose up and ran for his life, and he went to Beersheba, which belongs to Yehudah, and left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey to the wilderness, and came and sat down under a broom tree and prayed that he might die, and said, it is enough. Now, Yahweh, take my life, for I'm no better than my fathers. I've had it, Lord. Ain't nobody listening, no way. I give up, boy. I feel him in my spirit a lot. And what compels me to continue on when I'm down in this weakness, and trust me, I struggle with this a lot. Knowing the truth, walking the truth, living the truth, and then watching others just do it however they want and claim they have God. And so it does wear on you. It beats you down. I haven't got to the point where I'm just laying there saying, God, take me, I quit, I die. I haven't ever got to that point. I enjoy my life. And what compels me to go on is God will send somebody to encourage me. Man, that video you made was awesome, or that message you brought, that was awesome, or thank you for just continuing, you know. In some way, somehow, God will encourage me whenever I get into these modes, and I've kind of been there the last month or so of that, you know what, nobody's listening, no way. They listen, they watch, but I don't see nothing changing in their life. But then I have to remember back, how many people preached to me when I was still 1 foot into the scriptures and 1 foot in the world, and I was trying to straddle the fence and live it like that. how many times was there men of God preaching to me, teaching me, that I did the same to them? And so I had to remember back, it's all a process. And so here we got Elijah. Man, I'm done. There is no one left. I'm the last person who gives a damn about God, and fine, take my life, Lord. We sound like big babies when you step back and remove yourself from your situation and you look at how you're acting. You're just like, man, you are a big old baby. Get your ass up and go do what God called you to do. Verse 5, and he lay and slept under a broom tree, and see, a messenger's an angel, touched him and said to him, rise and eat. And he looked and saw by his head a cake baked on coals and a jar of water. And so he ate and drank and turned and laid back down. And the messenger of Yahweh came back the second time and touched him and said, rise, eat, for the journey is too much for you. God's got you on a mission. You're going to have to eat this so you can go. Come on now. And I looked up the word touch, because sometimes we don't realize the impact that's going on if we don't go back and look at the original language and its meaning. So I went and looked up touched, because this is one of my favorite chapters anyway. I've read it hundreds of times. It really just means what it says, touched. It kind of shook him on the shoulder. And I can't remember one of the stories where the angel comes and kicks him in the ribs. It's Peter, I think it was, when he's in jail. He ain't playing. He says he smote him on the side. Meaning he walked up and kicked the piss out of him. Get up. That doesn't mean that in this one. The angel's real gentle with him. And the Lord will do that with us. Sometimes, it's just like a little child, a 2-year-old. Falls down, skins his knee, falls down, bumps his head. You don't bust his ass. You pick him up, you coddle him. You assure him that you have him and he's going to be okay. God does us the same way. Now, when we're a teenager and we're out screwing up, Dad probably going to jerk you up by your collar and have you a what for? You know what I mean? And that's the same way God operates with us. Verse 8, sorry. And he rose up and he ate and drank, and he went in that strength of that food for 40 days and 40 nights, as far as Horeb, the mountain of Elohim. And there he went into a cave and spent the night. And see, the word of Yahweh came to him and said to him, what are you doing, Eliyahu? And he said, I've been very jealous of Yahweh, Elohim of hosts. For the children of Israel have forsaken your covenant, and they have thrown down your altars, and they have killed your prophets with the sword, and I am left, I alone, yet they seek my life to take it. Oh, Elijah's got a big view on himself here. It's just me alone. I'm the only one keeping the Torah, Lord. I'm the only one doing what you've asked me to do, Lord. The rest of them just, they all should die because they ain't doing nothing you called them to do. They're defaming your name, and it's just, I give up. Verse 11, Yahweh said, go out, stand on the mountain before Yahweh, and see Yahweh pass by. Yahweh passed by, and a great and strong wind tearing the mountains and breaking the rocks to pieces before Yahweh. But Yahweh was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake, and Yahweh was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire, and Yahweh was still not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice came into Elijah. A lot of times when we're looking for God, we're looking for this. We're looking for the strong wind. We're looking for the earthquake, the shaking of the mountains. We're looking for this great miraculous sign. We're looking for just nuts going on. And Yahweh's just very gently speaking to us. And we're so involved with seeing the mountain destroyed, seeing the fire, seeing the boom, seeing the bang, the thunder, and the lightning and the show, that we don't hear his voice. That's a lesson for us. It says he come in a still small voice. Elijah, hold on, homie. Hold on, little boy. I'm Yahweh. I'm your father. I'm your creator. I love you. I'm going to correct you. Gently, but boldly. Now come here. Verse 13, and it came to be when Eliyahu heard that voice, that he wrapped his face in his robe and went out and stood at the cave opening. And see, the voice came to him and said, what are you doing, Eliyahu? Kind of like a parent whenever he sees his kid and handing the cookie jar, he walks up behind him and he's like, what are you doing? It's not that he don't know what you're doing. It's not that dad don't know what you're doing. It's that he's assuring you that you ain't supposed to be doing this way, and you better fix it now, or I'm going to fix it for you. Verse 14, he said, I have been very jealous for Yahweh Elohim of hosts, not of Elohim, but for him. You love the Lord so much, and you see your brothers just trampling his name, you want to fight for him. For the children of Israel have forsaken your covenant. They've thrown down your altars, and they've killed your prophets with a sword, and I'm left. I alone. They seek my life to take it. He reiterates again. It's like God heard you the first time. But you're insisting that you're somebody. You feel me? Lord, look what I've done for you. You kind of owe me here. Fix this. That's a piss poor place to get into. But the Lord is long-suffering and he's loving. He's kind. He's merciful. In verse 15, and Yahweh said to him, go, return your way to the wilderness of Damascus, and you shall go in and anoint Hazael as king over Aram, and anoint Jehu, son of Nishi, as king over Israel, and anoint Elisha, son of Shaphat of Abel Meholah, as prophet in your place. So Elijah's got to go anoint these kings, and he's got to raise up a prophet to replace him. Imagine God telling you to go and disciple this one because he's going to replace you. Verse 17, Yahweh still speaking. And it shall be that whoever escapes the sword of Hazael, Jehu kills. And whoever escapes the swords of Jehu, Elisha kills. All right, so he's giving him a command to go and anoint and put them on a job. Give them a task. And your task is this: anyone who escapes, you're gonna pick up the slack. Verse 18. And I shall leave 7,000 in Israel, all whose knees have not kneeled to Baal, and every mouth that has not kissed Baal. So the Lord's like, look, dude, I get it. What you're seeing is you're the only one doing it right, but you really ain't doing it right either. But guess what? I've got 7,000 people in Israel that they are walking it. And I'm going to leave them as a remnant. And I'm going to show you you're not the only one. And I'm going to show you I'll use you, but I don't need you. And when we learn to humble ourselves in that way, that God will use us, but he don't need us, then we can get ourselves in a position where God will use us and can use us. Well, it says pride is an abomination to the Lord. We got time, we may go look at that in a minute. Verse 19, and he went from there, and he found Elisha, son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen before him. And he was with the 12th, and Eliyahu passed by him and threw his robe on him. You're next, you're up. And he turned back from him and took a yoke of oxen. Oh, wait. Verse 20, and he left the oxen and ran after Eliyahu and said, please, let me kiss my father and my mother. Then I'll follow you. Elisha said to him, go, turn back, for what have I done to you? Cool. It's not all that important that you become the next man of God. Just do whatever you want, dude. You know, I mean, I did kind of throw my robe on you, which kind of anoints you, which kind of picks you, which you kind of need to get in gear here. All right? Let us take that lesson. Like we was talking about earlier. You're discipling someone, and they're just not coming into formation. There's some things that they just ain't getting straight. Where's your frustration lie? In God, in them, in you, yeah, all of those. It's like, look, dude, I just picked you, and you want to go do something else. It's just like Jesus says. Jesus makes this statement too. When he says, come follow me, and the dude goes, hey, I got to go bury my mother and father first. or I got to go bury my father first. And Jesus said, let the dead bury the dead. You come and follow me and spread the kingdom of heaven. We think, you know, we think that we have this freedom and ability to just live our lives however we want. And some may have that. But when God's called us, if we don't get up and go do, He's going to call someone else. It's just like at a job. When the boss tells you to go do something, he comes back at the end of the day and you ain't got it done, he don't want to hear your excuses. It's the same here. Dude should have dropped what he was doing and followed Eliyahu. Verse 21, and he turned back from him and took a yoke of oxen and slaughtered them and cooked their flesh, using the implements of the oxen, and he gave it to the people, and they ate. And then he rose up and followed Eliyahu and become his servant, become his disciple. Having someone to disciple is key in our walk. I started this channel because when I first started it, I was just a deacon in the assembly. And so I didn't get a chance to really spew out all the stuff that God was filling me with, and I felt like I was having an overflow, abundance of information that I needed to get rid of. Not get rid of, but get out. And so I made this channel to start speaking on those things. And that's why I created this channel. We need to be able to pour into someone else. And it's important that we do so. It's also important that we have someone that pours into us. You know, and God will put those people around us. I'm looking for this one in Proverbs. Okay, here it is. Proverbs, turn with me to Proverbs chapter 6. Verse 9. Proverbs 6, verse 9. Give me a second. Pause the video, get there. How long would you lie down, O lazy one? King James says sluggard. You lazy. What are you doing? Are you not going to get up? When do you arise from your sleep? Today's church body. When are you going to wake up and realize that Yahweh is the same yesterday, today, and forever? His commands are the same yesterday, today, and forever. Verse 10, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to lie down. It's death. If you're going to be asleep, you're dead. And your poverty shall come on like a prowler, and your need as an unarmed man. A man of Belial, a wicked man, he walks with a perverse mouth. He winks with his eyes and he shuffles his feet. He points his fingers with perverseness in his heart, plotting evil at all times. He sends out strife. Therefore his calamity comes suddenly, and instantly he's broken, and there is no healing. Now I want you to check this out. Verse 16. These six matters, Yahweh hates, and 7 are an abomination to him. Now, before I read this, I want you to think back to what the evil man does. He's dead. He's a dead man walking. That's his reward. And 6 things Yahweh hates. He hates men who do not keep his commands. But 7 is an abomination to him. That's not describing 7 things necessarily. 7 is a completion, a fulfillment. A fulfillment is an abomination that a man will not turn from his ways, repent, and follow God. That's the abomination. That's the eternal hell. Okay, goes on to list. It's a proud look, a lying tongue, hands shedding innocent blood, a heart devising wicked schemes, and feet quick to run to evil, a false witness breathing out lies to the brethren, and one who causes strife among the brethren. My son, watch over your father's command, and do not forsake the Torah of your mother. Bind them in your heart, and tie them around your neck. When you are walking about, it leads you. When you lie down, it guards you. And when you have woken up, it will talk to you. For the command is a lamp, and the Torah a light, and reproof of discipline a way of life, to guard you against evil women with the flattering tongue of strange women. That's false teachings, false church, false ideas, false doctrine. Guard the Torah and you'll not be deceived. Put the Torah in your heart and bind it around your neck. That means you're changing your entire lifestyle to be a man of Yahweh. Get up and go do. When you lay down to rest, you're thinking about Yahweh. You're thinking about what needs to be for the kingdom. When you wake up, you're thinking about Yahweh. You're thinking about what is to be for the kingdom. It's a discipline and a way of life. A discipline. Following Yahweh takes discipline. Reading this Bible, reading His Word daily takes discipline. Being married to my wife takes discipline on my part and her part. Otherwise, the marriage will dissolve. If I go months without speaking to my wife, we're probably not going to have a very good marriage. How do we think we can operate with God and not speak with Him for months on end? Or go to an assembly and you get pissed off because the preacher speaks more than 20 minutes on one little verse that he's picked out. How much do you love your God? How long shall you be asleep? How long shall you be dead in your trespasses? That's what that proverb is just speaking of. Same thing we was dealing with Elijah. How long are you going to lay under this tree begging to die? Thinking you're the only homie on the planet. Well, the only homie on the existence of earth that loves Yahweh and is doing His way. How long? Get up and go do. Go make a disciple. We're not going to live forever in this flesh. Therefore, we need to anoint those who are coming up behind us so they can carry it on. That's part of the remnant. That's part of what God has done, what Yahweh has done from the beginning. He's made a remnant. Malachi 3:6. I am Yahweh Sabaoth, I change not. Oh, so ye sons of Jacob will not come to an end. That's a promise through Malachi that Yahweh makes, that the sons of Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that the descendants and those grafted in to the house of Israel will always be on this existence until Yeshua returns once and for all. You can abide in that promise and believe that promise, or you can go and be flattered by the strange woman in her strange tongue, speaking fallacies about my Messiah, my Lord and Master Yeshua. You believe all that. I don't have to do this anymore. Yeshua nailed it all to the cross. He nailed Yahweh's ways to the cross, and now it's free for all. Have fun. Just say you love Him. Just say you know Him. Well, being with Yeshua is like a marriage. You take your vows publicly, but then it's the rest of your life working on that marriage, adapting to one another. It's a lifestyle change. Being married is a lifestyle change. Loving Yahweh and following Yahweh is a lifestyle change, not a once a week something I do. Y'all be blessed, be encouraged, and always be frustrated. This is OFD, and I will catch you guys in the next reading.